a good design is not about the money. It's time and creative energy. I want people to embrace and to understand design can actually heal people. It's healed me.
In the Middle East, it's very sensitive. Everyone is in a rush. Everything has to be done yesterday.
You cannot force a design. You create it, you put it in your incubator.
Then you think.
You mature a process.
You mature.
You're talking about 6 months for the design.
Yes. Then we don't need to come back and fix it. Once you know when to stop to capture that energy, your work is done.
What does it take to actually create a silent luxury project?
What is the real silent luxury? It's called the stillness.
What elements do you use to design the space like that?
You look at texture, you look at lighting, how would you allow nature to come in? We have this habit of architects start first, interior comes later.
I agree with you. It's definitely not the truth.
Our biggest competition is ourselves.
Today we have a very special guest, our friend and founder of Écru Elements, Charlie Wu. Hi, Charlie.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. You know, the funny thing that when I was researching about this information about you online, I couldn't find much, to be honest. I couldn't find anything about your personal life or about company. And I know that you bring all your guests referral only. So is that intentional? How does it work?
Okay. This is, it's funny on you doing this. The reason we became very discreet and work in a very private methodology of working is actually our client that crafted that. It wasn't intentionally designed by me. So when I start my design studio, because the type of project we do, it's an incubator stage. And in the design process, we have the 5 cycle of design. So we are the introduction cycle of design. So a lot of work we have created is actually put it into our incubator, and we will wait for the right timing to launch the product or the right timing to launch what the market need. So that's why everything's been kept into our incubator. And the referral, funny enough, is also being encouraged by my client. Instead of wasting energy or going and hunt down projects and keep on pitching projects and things like that, what we do with referral actually is a methodology of a psychology. So
tell us a little bit more about it.
So I have always been very blessed. Maybe it's also my personality. I'm not a very loud kind of character. So going to the market and pitching is just not my style. So one of my top clients have came to me is like, you know, you work in such an authentic way of working. Work on referral network methodology. So he actually introduced me to this of network of referral. So we have a circle of trust and very similar mindset of client and project that actually got passed around. And that's how we do all our projects. And,
oh, wow, that's very interesting.
Very interesting.
And the beauty about that is before I even start with my new project, my client is already in a team with us because design is a team sport.
That's right.
You need a good design method with a good client. So to be honest, I can't link and go with all the clients the way I work. So my client actually designed in a way that he told me about the referral methodology and how he works with his way of working. And this has been such a big blessing to us is we have a referral, we have a waiting list, and everybody have to wait in order. And it just controls my way of running my studio. And
does it make sure that you actually have the list of clients?
We do.
That have like a pipeline of clients, and it reassures you that after you finish one project, you'll have more clients. So sort of, right?
Yeah,
it's first time I hear about something like that.
It's very interesting you answer.
Yeah.
I think we came into today's society is like everybody goes and pitch project and everybody want to win and everybody want to do that. But it's funny because our client, majority of them are developers or they are brand owners or they're looking to create new brands. So in-house, they have project keep on running. like 6, 7, 200, 300, like even globally, we do a lot of fashion brand. So they already put us in the pipeline. I need to book you for 10 projects. I need to book you for the 4 project. So we are actually emerge with that and we grow together as a team. Oh, wow. We actually grow
Amazing.
together as a team.
It's an amazing way of working.
We work a little bit similar. We don't really have, the whole methodology that you're explaining about. It's very interesting to hear about that. Yeah. But we also work with referrals, and we also only have clients and word of mouth and
because also you don't advertise much.
We don't.
You don't participate in all the competitions.
No. We are also very
discreet
about it. So it's very, very interesting to hear someone else viewpoint out of it. It's actually one of the first time I do that.
The beauty part about referral is I have a very strong positioning and the triangle of design. So you have different tiers. So the bottom tiers is the mass, what you do and everything. So we keep ourselves on the top tiers. We don't do a lot, but we do quality. So when we take on one project, we actually generate from zero to multi-million dollars. So that's where our energy focus on. That's
the money energy, but I'll come back
that is
to
a
this
different way of
later.
So it's a beauty and a way that we're not for everyone, but when you get it, you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I love that relationship of growth with people.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I love focusing on specific type of clients and also being able to see the development of a brand or a client and see how they are developing, because
with you together,
exactly like you said, that the client already has so many projects ongoing, and it's nice to be, someone that follows the whole process of a client in that journey.
Yeah,
I looked so much forward for this interview actually, and because I really like how you guys are working within your company. Explain a little bit to me about your company's name. Because
that's a good question. Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? Écru?
Écru. Yeah.
Is it the color? It's a color.
It's
right?
a color. It's a color. It's it's a color of a beige.
It's a beige. It's a shade of beige, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then the entire name actually was given as a gift by Karl Lagerfeld. I worked very closely when I was doing Chanel, and then he always says to me like, you need to get out of luxury. Like, yes, he's like, you need to get off of luxury. Like, you need to go and create and fly. You cannot.
So he saw it in you from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, because I'm quite quiet and I absorb a lot of things, and then I can translate visions very, very quickly. And then, but working with him for years and years, and he's like, you're wasting your talent here because we're putting you in a box.
Right.
We literally putting you in a box and you beyond that. So he just hand sketch Écru, and I have no idea. I don't speak French. I don't know what is it. And he's like, you're just like a piece of paper. Like, you're just like a piece of paper. And then like, I don't understand the whole meaning. And then later, like, he actually explained to me why, when I left, and then we had a coffee, and he's like, I'm happy you did it. It's going to be a tough piece of paper. It's not going to be easy, but I'm looking forward to see the sketch, what you're going to come up with. And that's why I embraced the name. And it's funny that when I start giving I can't even pronounce it with my thing, but it's just how the story flowed, and I embraced it, and I just had my own Écru as.
That's such a nice story, right?
That's such a nice story.
Sometimes how you meet people, it changes your life completely. It's very interesting. And here comes our next question. It's funny that in architectural world they call you a code cracker.
Yeah, the code cracker.
That's a cool name. This is a cool nickname. So the code cracker, because you transform spaces, or you transform people when you create a project, or both? Just tell us a little bit about the code cracking.
Okay, so code cracker have been given to me since I think in my university time, and I cannot design a project that doesn't mean anything. I can't. So every project we take in, design and architecture is the last thing on my mind. I would take the brief and I would look at it and I was like, how am I going to impact this, how I'm going to make a social impact, how I'm going to make a financial impact through my work, how I'm going to make this, how I'm going to break my boundary.
The whole transformation journey. Yeah.
Exactly. And then after when I analyze my why, like why I'm doing this and how I'm going to do it. So my why is about the social impact, about how I'm going to back, it's about the entire movement of the society, everything I do. Then the how is my architecture and my design, which is my tool.
The technical
part. Then that's how I become I have a nickname in the industry to do that, because often when we see a client, my brief is never a design brief. It's always a financial brief. And I sit down with the CFO, I sit down with the business development, and I just hear them out. Tell me, what do you want? Give me your dream. And then start from that. Then we will be crafting the design brief together and phase how we're going to achieve the goal and how we're going to do it. So everything we do, we measure design, reward, design, reward, design, reward. And that's how the name came. It's cracked the code.
Such a interesting working process.
Definitely. How do you go around the whole process of putting out, when we're talking about financials, for example? How do you break that for the client, or what's the company's set marks for what type of projects do you guys take up on? Do you only take up on projects that has no limit on the budgets, or is it you take up on everyone that you guys feel that you can do magic
that you're interested in? Is it based on money, or is it based on personality or same thinking?
No, it's not based on numbers. It's based on the aim. It's based on it's the goal.
Okay.
Okay, I will just give our example for fashion. I'll put you example what we do, because we heavily in fashion retail, like the new luxury fashion, and we do a lot of delivery.
Still from that time, you're still pretty much involved in.
I'm still very involved
in luxury retail.
Yeah, in luxury and everything. So for fashion is such a big thing in our daily life. It's how people change and how things. It's not the money. A good design is not about the money. It's time.
So true.
And creative energy. The numbers comes to last. You can use anything. I have designed a retail with just black fabric, and we had 2,000 people viewing in one day. It's really not about the money. It's about the emotion, what you create out of it. So it's not about that. For me, it's about when I meet with my client, what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? If I have a client that tells me I'm only here for financial reward, you're not my type of. Not really my thing. But if my client tells me, I want to create my fashion to change, to make happiness, then you're my type of client, because then we go through the journey together.
It's the outcome that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see the reward pouring in. We just finished a massive retail in China. We took an old area of Chengdu, which is the highest luxury fashion industry, the highest economic now. So we take Chengdu, it's as old as anything, like the old era, such a dump, nobody wants it. It's a tea house, it's huge, it's about 12 hectares. We took it, and we embrace a brand from Poland, and we actually turn into a nightclub at night. In the morning, it's a fashion retail. We have coffee shop, and then every single day now, we have around 5,000 to 1 million people visiting that place.
Oh, wow.
So we just transformed the entire area. That's what I love.
Yeah.
That's what,
talking about transformation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from 6 months after that, the money start coming in. So it's not in my beginning of my project. I like strong brief. I like people that want to make a difference. And those are my type of tribes I go to. And I love those mindset that helps me. Even for my self-growth, I love to see those.
Yeah, it challenges you as well as a designer, right? It is a challenge.
We had no budget. All we had was 4 speakers, and we made it happen.
That's pretty cool.
And then it's funny. It's not the fashion piece that we have no retails, so the budget was so limited. So what we did, we took her piece of fashion. We went to nightclub, and we make people wear it. So that's a retail business started.
Yeah.
So how you transform that? So I love that part. So we're doing those 3rd and 4th retails at the moment. Yeah, that's retail.
Would you say retail is your favorite genre or favorite?
I like everything.
Everything.
I like to challenge everything because everything have their own transformation.
Yeah.
And later stage of my career, when I left fashion, I actually went into development in Dubai, like towers and cities, and I had no experience, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And then I'm so blessed my clients are willing to take my madness and went the flow with me. My first project was hilarious. I sat down and I had no business license at all.
Wow, we're not gonna say it. We might have to cut it out.
No, my client applied my business license for me, and it was G+80 tower.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
And all the design company was fighting to get it. And he says to me, I like you. I think you'll make a difference. And I just start my journey. I said to myself, if I can transform fashion industry by moving hundreds and thousands of people every single day, making them happy, visiting my project, I should use this for residential space. So then I start tapping into development project, come in, relook at space planning and relook at all of that. And what I love about that is I shift the entire typical floor plan, one shot, but I can change thousands and thousands of people's life at the end.
Wow.
That's what I love doing. Project on horizon, like, towers, vertical. I love doing that. So I can shift millions and millions of families. That's what I love. It's not...
Yeah, it's fun. It's the outcome. It's the outcome. It's the final... journey. When I was doing my research, you guys, Écru Design, completed so many different projects, as you said, right? Residential and commercial, retail, of course, luxury retail. How did it all start? When did you decide that that's the career you want to pursue?
Oh, wow, this is quite a very sensible question. I feel like my entire life was preparing for this. I had no choice.
Yeah.
Do
you feel the same, Shad? Do you feel the same?
No,
but because we spoke about it.
Yeah. Actually, for me, it was I woke up one day and I said, I need to have a change in life.
Yeah.
So very interesting, actually.
How did
I was in hospitality and F&B, and I've done that for many years. And then one day I woke up and I said, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I applied for university and I completely forgot about it. And then one day I woke up, I submitted all of my portfolios and some work that they asked for, and then one day I woke up and they said, you're accepted to our university in Rome.
And that's it.
And
the rest is the history.
The rest is history. I just moved to Rome, and then I said, okay, let's try this and see. Yeah. So how come you feel like you were
preparing for this?
Yeah. How do you know that?
How did I know that? Okay, so I feel like, as I said, my whole entire life was actually prepared for all of this journey. I have a very sensitive body. I'm like a GPS. And the way is I can walk into a space and I can sense space, and how does that impact my mind space and my body space? Because your mind space, your body space is everything end of the day. Physical space is just there to shift. So I have this, I have to say, I have been connecting my own dots, who I am, my mission and my journey to my life. It's been a very painful process. I actually went through traumas. So when I was very young age, I was diagnosed with a very serious skin issue. I couldn't go outside at all. I had a room which is around, I think, 8x8 tatami room, typical Japanese tatami room. All I had access was linen bed sheets and some threads.
And here's Écru.
And then what I used to do is I used to make fabric architect and just take myself a ride and imagine. Yes, and imagine and go through fabrics, and that's what my day for many years. I couldn't go to school. I couldn't do a lot of things. And I had a big window, and all I had is one bonsai tree I face every single day. And I do not want to go through this painful injection and treatment. So I used to make myself happy. just to control my mind. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through treatment. So I have to make myself happy. So in that time, subconsciously, I don't know what I was doing, but I have to do that to survive. Then later on my stage, when I turned 16, another huge trauma came into my life. And then I didn't apply for design at all. My teacher did for me. My math teacher, my design teacher actually went to university and did the entire paperwork.
Application, forms and everything.
Everything.
Wow.
And because we left in such a short minute, interior architect was the only one seat left, basically. So they are the one that opened up all the door. And I remember my design teacher says, Alex says to me, I don't know, something about you, your work actually heals people. I have no idea what he was trying to tell me at that time. And the trauma went through, and the stage is my family had a financial crisis. I couldn't function, and then a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that period of time, I did a mood board. A very, very strong mood board. I said to myself, I'm not going to get myself down and I'm going to do this. I did my mood board and immediately I took my room. That time we moved into quite a large house. I took my room. I've moved my father's office table into my room and I set up my room as a CEO's office. So I have a bed and I have a CEO's office there. And I have this. And
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So I took my mood board and I tap into the energy immediate because I don't have time to waste to pull my whole family through that thing. So from this true experience, subconsciously, I already bought my GPS.
Yeah.
My chip is already there. And then I start my university, and then I was going for fun because I had to have some degrees. And Alex says to me, you need to do something with your life. I was so lost. No
But
idea
did you
what's going on.
immediately feel like, oh yeah, that's
No.
what I'm meant to do. This is
No.
no.
I went because of him, because he did
Yeah.
all the work. He pays for the school fee. I just did it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay.
I just did it because
I
just did it because he says to me, trust me, you have to do the design. You will feel yourself.
Isn't it amazing how someone can believe in you so much?
Did you feel that you were forced into it?
Yes, I was.
You were forced into it.
I was forced into it constantly. Like, I couldn't pay my university fees, and then I had to become the chairman of the events designer.
Yeah.
So I keep on doing events on monthly basis, and then I refurbished the school just to pay myself some school fees. So I was really designing in that time, but subconsciously just always like space design. But I didn't know what I was doing.
Where are you going to end up?
I have no idea until.
Were you happy when you were doing this,
Designing
this?
I feel like it's like my second nature, and then I get very happy when I see the end result.
Yeah.
That made me happy, but not the process when I was doing it.
And when did you feel that, okay, I'm meant to do this? I'm good at this. I'm meant to do this. When did you get that feeling?
Okay, that was in my second year varsity. I had a chance to do a model, massive city plan model.
Yeah.
I didn't know, I was so obsessed about space planning.
Yeah.
I didn't go home. I didn't go home for 3 days. I was on the ground and I was just putting puzzles together. And then I realized how powerful space is. And that's when I found my why I'm doing this. And that's where the calling starts. And then the journey just opened up from there on. So, yeah.
Interesting. I hated modeling.
I love modeling.
I did not. I could not.
I'm so good at it.
Sit with the polyplat. Is that what you call it? The polyplat, the cutting. It was too much.
I used to do it for money, for other people. Yeah.
Oh no.
I used to do model making. Yeah.
So your other classmates used to ask you to do it.
Ask me to do that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I loved it so much. I really enjoyed doing the model making. Yeah.
So your second year, that's when you started to feel like, okay, I'm meant to do this. I'm meant to do design. I really start to enjoy it. It's not anything that feels that is forced upon you anymore.
There was still a strong part of the force, but it just there's a voice, like you surrender for peace. I didn't know I can be so peaceful and so still and so focused on doing something, and everything just disappeared in my head. It was that stillness, that the calling of the stillness, that what I'm addicted to.
What inspires you, Charlie? Because you're a very philosophical person. You know, when you're talking, and I see, you know, I could see in the inspiration of the work and everything, and it feels very philosophical. Me, myself, I find inspiration in art, for example. But where do you find your inspiration? And what is it that you look into when you start a new project?
I would say inspiration, have a muscle, you have to train it. Okay, so I really train my muscle from experience, from traveling, from experiencing everything in life. And then the past, I think, 3 years, I try not to say no.
Like, what do you mean? To new experiences, or
to new experience,
to new connections, to, let's say we call you on the podcast, you're like, I'm not gonna say no to them.
Yes, that's what that was like. This is actually a very brave move. I know an experience. No, trying to say no when things happen. Like, would you like to try this new meditation? Would you like to try new this? Try to say no and welcome a new experience. But I give myself time. Like, this month, I want to learn something new. So I give myself 2 hours a month to learn something new.
What is it that you're learning right now? I have to ask.
Oh, give and without expecting to return, because we're also disappointed when we do a project. We give and give, and we expect to return. And I'm working on that. It's okay if I give, because it's my calling. So people are getting rewarded. Before, I do get very uptight. It's my work and I keep it very closely. But now I learn to give. I learned to give.
Very interesting way of seeing it. You know, that we always not always, but we, in the end of the day, especially after a project, that we are expecting for something in return, you know?
Yes, always. And it's not just financial.
Not financial. No, I'm not talking about
not
financial. I'm talking about, you know, maybe a comment, or maybe, you know, and it's very interesting how you are.
That you can give without expecting anything back.
I learned to give, and I learned to let people copy. Because the more they copy, is actually they doing something good. So I learned to give, I learned to share, and I learned to take it, because creative is so easy on paper, but the implementation, which is so hard,
so difficult.
That hold 90% of our work. Can you do it or not do it? So I give design, I talk design. I want people to embrace and to understand design can actually heal people. It's healed me. So how can I share this? So
but also in the past, you worked with so many, star architects, I would say, like Peter Marino, Garcia, right?
Yeah, Jacques Garcia.
Yeah. And how did they influence your journey? Did they influence, actually, while you were working for LVMH and Chanel? How these giants, if we can call them, influence your work?
I had the privilege, like I have to say, this is like the privilege to work with masterminds. So those masterminds are creating force of beauty to make people happy and to give dreams and to drive the economic of luxury. So imagine how much stress they have. Their job mainly is create force of beauty, and how do I drive the economic of luxury? And I learned so much from those giant masters. They all have their own superpower. And I love their superpower. So their superpower actually works on 3 ways of working.
Tell us a little bit about it.
They all have their own superpower. And then, because by working with 47 brands, and I was like the brand of 47 brand, and meeting all 47 brand superpower, like they all have one thread in common. Number 1 is they're actually the most humble human. They're so humble. So humble. Behind the scene, it's one side, but you know, they have to, because of humbleness, they can see the problem. Okay, so they're very humble. They all have a very strong way of, as I said, they actually exercise their intuition muscle, which is the biggest key. What we do is we have to exercise our intuition muscle. We exercise our emotion muscle. and then we exercise our creative muscle. And there's a methodology to exercise this.
I like that there is a methodology for everything. This is a very interesting approach. Yeah, what is it?
So we exercise those muscles. We have ways of doing it. Everybody does it different, but we find our superpower, so we exercise those muscles. The beautiful thing is when we receive the brief, any kind of brief. If you are a designer, you can design anything. Any kind of brief, we take it, we are able to map out immediately from beauty, neuroscience, creative, and economic in one line. That's how we do it. So we have that philosophy with the mastermind. That's how they do it. They are constantly bombarded, design. They have their superpower. And I love it when they are so strong and their intuition, muscles are so strong, design muscles so strong. When you talk to them, it literally take them like this. Things are done. With no drama. It's like literally things are done.
Well, with no drama.
With no drama. It's this, because we, coming from a luxury retail, we have to open on time. If we don't open on time, our fashion collection is worth more than our retail. Yeah. So time is critical. Efficiency is critical. Mistakes happen, but we let it go.
Of course.
Yes, and we just correct. It's never perfect.
So do you feel there is a big difference between luxury retail 10 years back and now?
Oh yeah, it's a massive difference. I think I won't put the years. I think I will, after COVID, I see a big shift between the Far East and in the West. There's a huge difference. The Western society still have brick and mortar retails, SKU, coming to the retails. It's still in a very, how do I say it, in a very traditional way of doing it when it's come to luxury, and then Web3 and all of that. I have been working with a lot of celebrity fashion brands in Far East, brands that is worth more than LVMH at the moment. They don't have SKUs and pieces in the space at all.
Wow.
We have emotions in the space. So what I have to do is they will give me a space. My job is to create a community.
Right.
From the community, the vision and the mission, we will understand what product we need to create for our community. It's not creating the product first and then dream. We create a community first, educate us, then we create the brand. And that have formed such a positive movement in Asia. So there's a lot of retails now, fashion, ultra luxury fashion retail. It's by appointment only. We only have few pieces. You have to wait, but we take you through the journey, because the old luxury is being a statement, being seen who I am. But the new way of looking at now, what I'm doing with all my clients on Far East is I belong to someone. I belong somewhere. I need to be belonged.
I'm part of that community. I'm part of that group.
Yeah, that's for us is the new luxury, and that's what we've been tapping in a lot now with our new retail. So there's a huge difference.
It's also completely different. So now we are talking about the fact that the European market, retail luxury market, is very different from Asian luxury market, right? So are there differences how you design for Asian luxury market and how you design for European luxury market?
Yes, it's a huge difference. I think let's say the European market, again, we're embracing more coffee shops. We're linking more to coffee shop and more products. We're linking to hotels. So fashion are being branched into
other businesses, let's say.
So we have like a globe, like how do you say it, like a network we have to do for them, and it's still like having that. How do I say it? It's all about SKU. SKU is how much I can sell, how much product I can put in my shop. It's still very maximum, like product everywhere. That's how I feel when I see the movement on that side. And then they haven't really championed between retail and digital. They haven't really championed that line yet.
Yeah.
And then when I work with Asian clients, number one is how do you align your space and your digital together? How do you align? How do you feel that? Because we don't have product in the shop. I want you to buy online. I want to have the data of you. I want to have all your access online.
Yeah, and that's where AI comes into this whole thing. So, do you use a lot of technology?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a technology nerd.
I
I cannot live without that.
I love it.
I think.
So how do you combine your very sensitive feng shui approach, aesthetics with technology?
I separate the two in a way. Is when I need to create something new, I use my intuition, my creates, which is the seen and unseen through feng shui. That's ancient. It's where I grew up with. That's my tool I use just to measure my creativity. Technology is just a form of tool. There's no emotion I put in there. It's just A plus A. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then having the new technology is so exciting. It's just having more stuff on board, more different creative mind, how you prompt your things.
Presentations and all the technical.
That's it.
You lived in a lot of different places, Charlie, and you have a lot of experience from living in different situations, I would say as well, and that obviously gives you a lot of inspiration and you learn from that. But you also lived in Dubai for a very long time.
Yes.
The development from living in Dubai and working the way you are working from 10, 15, 20 years ago contra now, what would you say what's the difference of that path of the Middle Eastern market?
Okay, so this is going to be a very hard one to answer, I'll be honest, because majority of my project is actually on board.
Are currently on board.
No, I have tackled, physically I'm based in Dubai, but all my project is abroad.
Abroad. All the projects are abroad. Yes, you mentioned that to me one time.
I physically live in Dubai, but all my project is somewhere else. Okay. But I can see the growth of Dubai. And when I actually tap into Dubai, it was the past six years. It was my first time tapping into Dubai market. So I have seen massive talent all coming in here to the market. But what I see is people have not matured the difference between design and contractor.
And the bingo.
That's where it is.
Yeah,
okay.
That is.
It's design actually, it's a pure drive. Contractor is just an implementation. And I still don't understand. A lot of my clients, mature clients, understand the difference on it, but that needs
and they call it design and build.
Yes.
I actually have a client now that we sat down and we were talking about the design and we were presenting everything for them, super clear. And then, a month, 2 months in, they were shocked by knowing that we were not the contracting company. And I was like, how is it even possible that you thought this, I still don't have that grip of understanding that when you're approaching a design or an architectural studio,
that you think that they are contractor all in one.
All
in one
sort
of.
Yeah, it's I don't really know faces through overseas. Like designers abroad, especially in the Far East, you get a lot of respect. Like, like
because it's an art, it's a craftsmanship as well.
Yes.
So it's considered.
But I would say also in Sweden is completely different from here. In the office in Sweden, everything is super clear. Yeah. They give time. It takes, it's a process. It's a journey with the client. So. Yeah, try to tap in a little bit because I'm very interested in hearing what you have, how are you experiencing this development of...
design and build?
Yeah, design and build. All in one.
No, I try. It's a very... I don't understand why the market have from design and build. We are at the most amazing landmark. we have the most outstanding projects, I have to say, in this region. No one can beat us. The speed, the opportunity, the best building law ever. We can do whatever we want. But designers need to be left to design. It needs that incubation space. It needs that breathing to create good work. It cannot be rush hours and rush things. We need, as designers, we need to educate our client. That's why referral is so important, because when someone works with you and understand the result, you are going to get the same client.
The same next client. That's so true.
As a design, our responsibility, we are the one that's shifting the city. We are the one that leaving the landmark of the city. We are the one forecasting the future. We need that space from all different levels to understand design and build its totally separate philosophy. I do understand designers have to understand details. I understand we have to go on site. But it doesn't mean we are contractors.
Yeah, there should be a mutual respect, but not interfering in each other's job.
How will you tackle, because specifically time, you know, in the Middle East is very sensitive. Everyone is in a rush. Everything has to be done yesterday. How do you tackle that sensitive topic? Because it's always a sensitive topic that the client always says, we need to do it quickly.
Okay, can I ask you something?
Yes, please.
So client asks us to rush. Do they ever launch on time?
No.
Okay.
No.
What I do is I think I have come to a stage of my creative because we use, as a designer, we give all our energy into creative, into creating something, a newborn baby. I have many times, I reject my own design. I pick up the phone, I'll tell the client, I don't think this is good enough. I don't think I'm going to achieve what I want for you. And I don't think this is what you're going to get as a result. I would like to have more time, and I reject my own design, give me 2 weeks. I will come and be honest with them. If I'm not happy about it, I will not give you my products. And after doing that many times,
how do they take it? I'm just curious. How do they take it, or it varies from client to client?
They were actually quite happy for the honesty. I literally many times I will pick up a phone to many CEOs. Listen, I don't think this is the way we're gonna go. Even if you launch it, you're just gonna waste your energy and money. But my client actually respect me 10 times more when I do that, because I care. I care for them.
No, because you want to deliver the best you can.
Yeah.
For yourself and for them. First of all, for them, for the client.
And when I start doing that, they actually save more money.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to, if you have a good design, you don't need heavy marketing. Sorry, marketing teams won't kill me. You don't need heavy marketing. It's look at if you buy Apple, it's so clean, so simple.
Yeah,
they don't come with the 10 books of manual. You just know it's Apple. But that's what I want to do for my clients. So don't rush me. But when I give you, you will save on somewhere. And your return
on marketing.
I know, marketing, everything. But your return his return is much more. I have a habit, and I do admit, I reject my own design to make sure my clients are protected. Yeah, that's how I do it.
You asked me a question, and you said, does usually your clients launch in the right time?
Yes.
It's not always us as designers or architects that is maybe the main reason for why they wouldn't launch. It would maybe be a contracting issue or an approval issue. You know? So if a client would come to you and say, this is your time frame. We only have this time. There is no other room for 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks extra. How do you tackle that?
I break it down.
You break it down?
Yeah, we face that much. I break down. I will give him whatever he needs to launch the project first, a teaser. And I spend my other time crafting. I will break my project down. So there's a way to break projects down that both parties will win. So I'll break it down and I'll make it very clear on the strategy. He needs to make he have financial responsibility. I have design responsibility. So we break it down. We break on that he win and I win at the same time, but we go through this journey together.
Interesting.
Yeah, I break it down on that. So we launched projects before just with 12 images.
Wow.
I break it down. And that 12 images actually help me and help him because we actually realize if it's going to work or it's not going to work. And then we create a waiting list. Is this going to work or not going to work?
What would you say is a reasonable, it's obviously very different from project to project, but what would you say is a reasonable time frame for a project of Écru?
The most perfect world, when we have it in a luxury fashion, we have 6 months because we will design 2 months and we have 2 months break and then we come back again. You cannot force a design. You create it, you put in your incubator.
Then you think,
You mature a process.
You mature.
You're talking about 6 months for the design?
Yes.
For the design. That's
Can
fair.
all our clients hear this, please?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear this?
That
We're gonna start the podcast with that line.
being working in the industry for 2 decades,
Yeah.
the 6 months, I still have it because I'm still coming back to fix the problem. So rather give me the 6 months to mature the project, then we don't need to come back and fix it. It takes 6 months to mature a project. A designer, our sparkles comes in. When the project, we hear voices, we see things.
Yeah.
And we doubt ourselves.
Definitely.
We all do.
Yeah.
And then we create. And then we force ourselves to submit and close our eye. And then we realize, oh my God, it's not working. And then why do we do that? Imagine we have that time of just 2 months, put in the cupboard and
To
just
absorb all of that.
and fix.
And fix.
And
Yeah.
fix it and fix it. And then we will have the design cycle called the introductional design. Because we are in the cycle of copying. I just copy from Pinterest. I just do this. So we're in a cycle of raising design. We lost the original creativity.
Authenticity. We lost
It's
authenticity
gone.
because we don't have time.
We don't have time.
And we just open
yeah.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
We don't. No.
No, you
Not
guys.
us. I mean,
Not us. But we lost that, and that takes
Yeah.
time. That
Yeah.
takes time to grow. So when we used to do luxury fashion, yes, I have 47 brands, but every project I had 6 months to look at it. And I look at from design and financial. I look at from design to international aspects. I look at all of that, and then I submit, and then we fly. And the document is so well done. We fly for 5 years, and then we come back
right.
because it's so well prepared.
You know, there is like a trend on this for this demure silent luxury. What does it take to actually create a silent luxury project? What is silent luxury for you? What is the luxurious project for you?
Silent luxury.
Yeah.
I think silent luxury have kicked into the Eastern society only recently after COVID. It's actually have been quite a very strong heritage from Japan, from Asia, we always had that silent and stillness luxury. It's came after COVID and it's getting more and more aware now because every single day we have 34 million AI images that have been prompted and we are access to 1,300 billion.
The noise.
The noise we get from everything. So from the noise and everything, what is the real silent luxury? It's called the stillness. It's not taking out nothing, minimalist. No, it's not that. It's not just, it's really walk into a space and you feel the vibration of the space. That is a pure silence and it's a pure stillness. Then you recharge yourself. Have you ever been to a Buddhist temple?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Have you ever, when the monk starts banging, your whole mind just, I don't know how you guys
and you even
have
feel it
yet.
inside, you sort of when they start.
It's a vibration.
Vibration.
It's a vibration.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
vibration.
So for me, that vibration and the space, if a designer can do that, an architect can create that vibration, that is pure stillness and silent luxury.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. It's
Tadawando for me is a master. Like, he's a very big inspiration for me when
I think he's even self-taught. I mean, he's one of my favorite architects, of course. Yeah, he's the giant. Talking about giants. Yeah,
talking about silent luxury for me.
Yeah,
definitely. I see that in his work.
It's form and texture he plays in nature, and that's it. So that's how I see this. There's a huge difference between the real silent luxury, stillness luxury, and silent luxury. People don't know how to differentiate it. But for me, if you ask me what is silent luxury, I will say my silent is stillness luxury. That's what I'm...
Because it becomes a trend, you know? It becomes a trend that we all trying to design something. But what elements do you use to design the space like that? Where you actually feel good when you enter the space and you feel really content and good?
I think to create a stillness and silent place, you need to know when to stop. And that is the most...
Right? Yeah.
You need to know when to stop. Once you know when to stop to capture that energy, your work is done. To create a silent space, you look at the volume. Okay, you look at texture. You look at lighting is number one. And how would you allow nature to come in? We have this habit of architects start first, interior comes later.
And then construction.
And then construction.
Construction comes.
Which is I agree with you. It's definitely not the truth in it.
Yeah, because interior design as our industry profession, it came so late. Architect was always there. But what I do in my practice is we actually start from inside first and then we go out. Because it's like living in an organ. It's our body. How do you flow your MEP? How do you reduce the noise? How do you make everything disappear? And then you go out.
Right.
That's so true. Because if you don't feel the inside, which in reality is where you're gonna stay, you know, if you don't have all of those elements put together and not base the skeleton based on the same with as you said, our organs. If your inner body doesn't function, it doesn't matter how beautiful your outer skin or your outer body is, you know. It all comes from inside. So if it doesn't function from inside,
it can't be beautiful on the outside.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna
all the architects now
not age nicely.
No, they are.
But I agree with you, and it's so important. And there is a lot of architects also that, you know, are doing that. If you look back to the Bauhaus era, for example, it's so
one of my favorite movements.
Definitely, and that was. You know, that was so important that they went into so much details in the Bauhaus era. Everything. And we sort of lost the whole, you know, that era is a little bit lost for me, I feel. But in the end of the day, that was the school, or, you know, a start of a school.
Foundation
for design and architecture, you know. So I completely agree with you.
No, it did, but they understood what silent luxury was.
Yeah.
They understood at that time.
Yeah, it was a detail. Everything had a reason. Yeah. Everything was done like very thorough, right? So what is next for Écru Elements? What is it that you would like to, I don't know, to try, apart from saying no to
to new experience.
What's next?
I think we got to a stage of our studio. We've been very blessed. What we're doing now is we are able to be part of the board meeting with our clients on their projects. So we actually craft the brief with them together before we design. And I found that's such an amazing journey. And we've been blessed as we've been working with, in the Far East, one of the city, and we're working with also a city in Europe. We're taking the capital of the city and we transforming them. So that's what we're doing. So it's uplifting millions and millions of people in that city. So we've been traveling a lot, and that's the new chapter. So end of the day, what my business, what my studio is about, it's not about design. It is, I know design is important, design is what we do, but it's how can we transform people's lives?
It's about transformations.
That's it. and to be blessed to being in the board meetings with many of my clients now, to be able to drop my own brief and learn with them.
Yeah, that's a silent luxury.
Yeah, but that's it.
Definitely, that's luxury. That's luxury. Yeah.
But it's just so beautiful that we get to exchange and we create more jobs together.
Yeah.
The better design
From
we
the
do, the more
beginning.
jobs I can create, the more people he can hire.
Yeah.
And we find that that's what we've been doing now for the past year.
What an amazing chapter. I mean, I'm super happy for you guys, and you know,
thank you.
It's really, you know, in the end of the day, that's what we all want. We want to do an impact.
That's what
know?
we're doing. That's what our profession is.
Yeah, the footprint, leave a footprint, or make an impact, or be able to help someone or something, you know, to develop. So beautiful, and we look so much forward to.
Thank you.
To see what you guys are doing.
Your next chapter.
Your next
to
chapter.
be part of it.
Yeah.
We'd love you guys to be part of it.
Well, to wrap up our conversation today, we always ask our guests to ask one question for the next guest.
Before we do that, we have a question from the previous guest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the previous
for you to answer?
Yeah, exactly. For you to answer. So, the previous guest question was, if you were able to change or redesign an historical monument, what monument would that be, and how?
Okay. Interesting. There's one Buddhist temple have been lying in Tajikistan for years and nobody have discovered. I have recent visits and I have submit my submission to the government, and I want to rebirth that temple. I want to rebirth that Buddha's work, and I want to rebirth the whole entire starting of Buddha's landmark. That's what I will start.
Wow.
So that's because it's just my roots. That's what I will start. It's been there. People haven't been touched in the past 100 of years, and it was amazing to discover that recently.
We want to get Charlie. We would like to get a question from you for our next visitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever question that you want that visitor to reply.
I can. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
For the next guest, I would like the guest to show us the technique of his or her superpower and give us a 1 minute tip to the audience.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Because it's also like when you listen to episode, you want to learn something, right?
You want to learn.
Yeah, you want to learn. So you want to know these tips. And that's why it was very inspirational to know how we learned so much today. I feel like
you definitely have a superpower.
Yeah, you do.
I'm gonna tell you, your superpower is very interesting and very strong. I was really looking forward for this episode. Really,
thank you.
I really feel that I can get so inspired by you guys. Yeah. So I'm really thankful for you to take your time
so many
and
layers.
come. Yeah, definitely.
No, but thank you for having me. It's. I couldn't do this without. Listen, it's been years. I have kept myself in a very incubator environment because I was trained in incubator environment. You don't see Peter Marino, those top designers getting design award to go to design competitions.
They don't usually.
We're not like we find it like our biggest competition is ourselves.
Yeah,
and our biggest competition is what we serve. End of the day, and that's what. Today, I feel like, as I told you, I need to give, I need to share.
Yeah.
I have to come out, I have to share. I have 2 decades of knowledge. If I don't do that, I'm gonna suffocate on it. And I want people to teach me also to go.
Charlie, thank you so much for not saying no.
No, thank you.
For not saying
no.
Never say no.
You know, we're so thankful for that. And for next time.
Yes. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To wrap
it up.